And it's just like, it was such a sad existence for this guy. And I'm like, dude, let me help you out here. Well, he didn't want to sell his house, didn't want to go anywhere. We did so many different things with him. We came up with all these creative offers for the guy. We're like, hey, we'll give you this, we'll buy you out, we'll give you this much money, you can go somewhere else, you can move, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, where am I gonna go? This is where I'm at, I'm not gonna move, kind of thing. And then he's also kind of a recluse. So we thought, this is before we realized that he hates people. So we actually bought a condo, thought we would trade him the condo for the house, fix the condo up, everything. He's like, you're trying to kill me, I can't be around those people. And so we're like, so we ended up selling the condo, didn't work out, just not doing anything. So finally I was like, you know what, tell you what, obviously you like this house enough that you want to live in this squalor of a place. I'll give you what's called a life estate. All right, what I'll do is I will give you the rights to live at this house as long as you possibly can or want to, until you die. Basically, when you die, this property is transferred to me. Hey, what's going on, bootstrappers? All right, so we're gonna do something a little bit different today. I normally do a walk right around lunchtime, and that just helps me get some more steps in. So that's always good for me because I'm on a weight loss journey here. Not that I'm crazy or anything. I'm at 170 pounds. I'm gonna get down to 160, about 160 or so. Let my abs show in the morning. Actually, not in the morning, but all summer. So anyway, that's where I'm at. So anyway, I wanted to share an idea that I had. It's nothing new, but I think it might be new to you guys. An idea that, let me give you a little bit of backstory here as I go on my walk here, get my steps in. I'm gonna try to do about a half mile or so this morning. My goal is to get 12,000 steps a day. So a few years back, I had met an old man. He wasn't good off at all. He lived by himself. He had done very well in the Hollywood TV news anchor broadcast kind of situation. He was friends with Merv Griffith and stuff like that, if you know who that is. He's the fame of all these amazing shows like Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune and Bob Barker. What's that one called? Oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now. Shoot, what is it? Price is Right. That's what it is. So anyway, he was friends with him and they did a bunch of cool stuff together. But anyway, he did very well for himself and never paid into retirement or anything like that. Had everything in stocks and owned his house free and clear. So in 2008, when the market crashed, he lost everything. He was wiped out. And so he had to put a small mortgage on his house to survive. And of course that money went, and so when I met with him, his house was in disrepair, just really bad shape, broken down cars, just no money. This is probably 2016 or so. And it was on code enforcement, just bad news, right? And so what happened was that, I met him and he's living off these dividends from his stocks. And the stock dividends were just poor. He was getting $200 every quarter. And I'm like, how do you live off of that? And he wasn't. He was a hoarder, so his house was trashed, just trash everywhere. And he also was just living off of a yogurt a day and a glass of milk, and he smoked a pack he smoked so many cigarettes. And so rather than, he couldn't afford the cigarettes, so he'd go buy tobacco and he'd buy rolling paper and he'd roll his cigarettes. And so I'd be out there talking to him, he'd rolling cigarettes 4 or 5 of them at a time, just trying to smoke as he's talking. And it's just it was such a sad existence for this guy. And I'm like, dude, let me help you out here. Well, he didn't want to sell his house, didn't want to go anywhere. We did so many different things with him. We came up with all these creative offers for the guy. We're like, hey, we'll give you this, we'll buy you out, we'll give you this much money, you can go somewhere else, you can move, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, where am I going to go? This is where I'm at, I'm not going to move, kind of thing. And then he's also kind of a recluse. So we thought, this is before we realized that he hates people. So we actually bought a condo, thought we would trade him the condo for the house, fix the condo up, everything. He's like, you're trying to kill me, I can't be around those people. And so we're like, so we ended up selling the condo, didn't work out, just not doing anything. So finally I was like, you know what, tell you what, obviously you like this house enough that you want to live in this squalor of a place. I'll give you what's called a life estate. All right, what I'll do is I will give you the rights to live at this house as long as you possibly can or want to, until you die. Basically, when you die, this property is transferred to me. That's what a life estate is. And he's like, oh, that's fantastic. It's like, but basically it wasn't like, hey, I will buy this house from you and give you all this cash. It's like, because he could live forever, hopefully he won't, it's not the case, but it's like, hey, I'll give you some money right now today. I'll give you, it was $10,000, and then I will pay your mortgage, your insurance, and the taxes. Came up to being like $500 a month. So he would save $500. So basically he just found $6,000 a year that he did, and plus the 10 grand. Then he didn't have to do anything. So that was the situation that we had worked out with him. And that was the life estate that, give him $10,000 all up front. So he had felt like he was getting like money up front. And then of course he was also getting some kind of debt relief or monthly cash flow, which was basically $500 a month for taxes and insurance and the mortgage that he had. So, cause that's another thing too. He wouldn't pay his mortgage. He would, the mortgage was like, $250 a month. It was an adjustable rate. And so he would, let that go into foreclosure. And so every 9 to 11 months, he would go cash out some stocks, $1,500, whatever, $2,000 worth, and pay off that mortgage. That's kind of how he was been just like surviving from year to year to year. So right now, at that point, he was just like, okay, man. So we were going to save him the money. So he'd save $6,000 a month or a year, $500 a month roughly. And he'd get $10,000. And so that was a situation that we proposed to him. He's like, this is fantastic. I will definitely do this. And that was a solution. That was a solution that allows him to stay in the house. Now, he's still in that house. We didn't end up actually doing a life estate with him. My partner, who I was going to do this with, he's like, I can't do that. That's crazy. You're talking about giving him $10,000 and $6,000 a year. That's $16,000 the first year, and then who knows how long he'll live. Well, the guy's still alive. He's still in the same situation. He's still behind on his mortgage. It's going to go into foreclosure, and I'm no longer partnered with that gentleman anymore. I've met up, and this is where it gets creative. You have to have either deep pockets yourself or know someone who's willing to go in with you on this particular venture. And so I have another individual who long-term vision, long-term goals. Like he has all these other plans, has the money, has the cash flow. He's like, yeah, for sure, dude, no problem. $500 a month, $6,000 a year, no, not an issue. And now we're going to structure it where it's zero money down. Or hey man, we're just gonna pay your mortgage up, bring it current, because it's behind right now, several thousands of dollars, because of the whole COVID relief thing. And we're going to go ahead and take care of this for you. And that's the situation that we're in right now. Talking to the guy, he's like, that works, man. I don't need 10 grand. I just get these guys off my back. And then of course we have to maintain the property. And that's another issue too, is the neighbors are just all over this guy because he's not maintaining the property. And it's just, there's grass up to your eyeballs, and it's in a very nice area too. It's in the old country club area. And so he's on the fringe though. He's like on the borderline of that, but it's a nice area. The neighbors are just like, hey, this guy, they're always calling code enforcement. In my county, we're a complaint driven county. So, as the complaints come in, then they're always out there knocking on his door, harassing the guy, to mow his lawn. I've been over there. I've mowed his lawn several times. I lost count how many times I've done it, or hired someone to do it for me or whatever. So, that's the situation. That's life estate. Why do I bring this up? Because right now, more than ever, inflation is just like, I shouldn't say more than ever, but in our most recent time frame, inflation is just kind of going crazy right now. Like the CPI, the consumer price index just came out on a hot number, 4.2 for May in 2021. We'll see if that's going to be a trend or not. Right now, it is a big number. Gas is shooting up. Lumber is shooting up. So there's all these commodities, these things that cost money to buy are shooting up. Like, groceries are just shooting up. I'm seeing that. I got 5 young kids. I see that. So what happens though is I have the ability to go out and make more money. I work for myself. I control my destiny, if you will. Individuals that are on fixed incomes, not so much. They're stuck. They're retired. And so there are a lot of individuals who may be retired. And this is why I share this with you. Who may be retired and are stuck on what kind of income they have. They can't go out and be a Walmart greeter, or they can't go out and do something else. For whatever reason, they're they're beyond the opportunity to go out and work. And so they're living off of either Social Security, some kind of pension, some kind of something that is a fixed number. And as prices continue to increase and rise for commodities like gas and groceries and things like that, milk and cheese and things like that, then what's going to happen is their fixed income is going to feel like they have less to live off of, because they technically do. As prices increase, they have less. But what they do have, and this is common. I didn't realize how common this was, but this is very, very common. Elderly individuals will eat less because they can only afford less, and so they're becoming malnourished. And so they're becoming skinny when they're sitting on a fat load of cash tied up in their property known as equity. Oh, I didn't mention this. So can someone go out and get a reverse mortgage on the property? Of course they can. Anyone can go out and do that has a property that's either free and clear or below 50% loan to value, and here's the key, and in good repair. Most individuals these days that don't have the means to provide for themselves definitely don't have the means to, let alone eat. They don't have the means to go ahead and provide maintenance on their property. And so a lot of these properties are in disrepair, and that's exactly what happened with this individual. He wanted to get a reverse mortgage. Most of these are insured by FHA. You have to have at least FHA lending, house that's FHA lendable. Well, he didn't have that. All he had, his house was in bad disrepair. He had a swimming pool. Hey, guy. That's all right. He had a swimming pool that is been drained. It's cracked, it's broken, and the house is all like dry rotted everywhere. Roof is messed up. So obviously FHA would not do that. And he needed about, I think, $15,000 to get it so that would be FHA lendable. Well, if he had the $15,000, he wouldn't be in the situation that he's in. So it's kind of a catch-22. So there may be individuals out there that like, oh, you know what? Hey, I'll go ahead and get a reverse mortgage, taken care of, we're done. That's not the person you're looking for. You're looking for someone who has a house that's in disrepair, because they're not going to be able to get an FHA reverse mortgage. They're not going to be able to qualify to have the house qualify for what is needed. Now, there are some loan products out there, at least there were at the time when we were researching this, that what they will do is they will do a reverse mortgage rehab loan. So basically, they're going to rehab the house up to the point where there's enough, where the house is lendable. But here's a caveat. You're stripping away all of your equity to do this. And this is what was happening to these people. And so this gentleman, he didn't have enough equity to do the repairs and get the reverse mortgage, because, well, he was already in, he already had a mortgage on the property, and the property values weren't there. Today, are they there? I don't know. We haven't visited that. I don't know if that product is still available as it once was. Like, I got like something in my shoe, in my foot here, walking in flip-flops. And so that was his situation. So there are individuals that are going to be in that kind of situation today as well. So that's my opportunity for you guys. That's for you guys to go ahead and look at, in your marketplaces, what's out there. Who has a house that's in disrepair. And you can look in the demographics, how old are they? And, are they open to doing life estates? Especially if they don't have anyone that's taking care of them. That was another thing with this guy. Thanks, man. He didn't have he's never been married, doesn't have any kids, and so he's never had anyone to take care of him. And that's an unfortunate situation to be in this life, in this day and age, but that's his reality. So there are individuals who live far away from family, that don't have people to come and take care of them, and just want to live in their home. I have my mother-in-law. We live locally to her, so she has us to come kind of take care of her. But she does not want to be in a home. She was in a rehab facility when she had some back surgery about 2 or 3 months ago. Hated it, absolutely hated it, and would rather die than go back to any kind of care facility. And that's basically what her wishes are, is let me die in my house. Now, she has some challenges. She has some mobility issues, and she has Parkinson's, and she hallucinates and has some other things that are preventing her from actually taking care of herself the way she needs to be taken care of, where she may need to have some someone there, like 24-hour care kind of thing. But she has the money. She owns a house free and clear. She has a pension. She can pay for all of that, where other people, they can't. But their wishes are they want to die in the property. So this is where a life estate comes into play. This is where life estate is exactly the perfect solution for somebody who is in this kind of dire straits and they need extra cash. They need extra cash monthly. So If you know of anyone that's in this situation that we may be able to help, send them my way. These are things that we are doing that, like I mentioned, we're working with one right now that we are setting up. There have to be a lot of things though that have to be in line in order for it to make sense for us. Like, there can't be a house that's like fully mortgaged and they want to live there until it's over. I'm sorry, we're not going to be doing that. We're not going to be making like $2,000 a month payments for, there's no equity. There has to be equity. And that's what sweetens for us. That's what makes it sweet for us. That's why a reverse mortgage company would be willing to do something like this anyway, is that there's enough equity that if something were to happen, hey, they're going to get their money back. Even they can sit on it for, 5, 10, 15 years. This person has to also be, advanced in years. We're not going to sit on these properties for very long. So anyway, those are the situations. But this is an opportunity for if you're looking to find a creative solution to find properties that are out there, especially if it's coming hard to come by. Like, hey, this guy needs to sell. He's desperate, but he doesn't want to sell because he doesn't have nowhere to go. He doesn't want to leave his house. This is a perfect opportunity to do a life estate. They're not talked about very much, but they definitely do work, and they're good opportunities. If this one works out that I mentioned, the numbers are, he owes $46,000 on a home that's worth about $315,000 all fixed up. And that was the last time I checked. Today, that house is probably pushing $400,000. Haven't looked at it, at the numbers. So $400,000. So let's call it a $400,000 house. We give him $10,000. So we're into it. Let's say the closing costs and everything. Let's call that $50,000. So let's call it $60,000. And then let's say he lives 5 years. So that's another $30,000. So that's $90,000 that we're into this property. And so again, that's $10,000 to him. That's $5,000 a month for 5 years. Or excuse me, $6,000 a year, $500 a month, $6,000 a year for 5 years is $30,000. So our total investment in the property is only $4,000 plus the mortgage that he has, which is $46,000. So closing costs when we do everything will be $5,000 or $4,000 on it. So we're looking at $90,000 total investment into this particular opportunity. What does that do for us? Well, we're able to pick up for $40,000 a house that's worth $400,000 at the time. Who knows what the market will be in 5 years? So that's the opportunity. That's what we're looking at. For us, it's a win. It's a total win, total great opportunity, and beautiful situation to be in, to be able to help someone out, and to also be able to help ourselves out in the process. I had a mentor one time. He called that doing good, or doing well by doing good. You're doing well financially by doing good to others. And I like that philosophy. It's a great little philosophy to live by. So just remember, there's a lot of creative ways out there to find properties, and you're just one deal away from changing your entire financial future. It just takes one deal. And the more creative you are, the more flexible you have, is more flexibility in terms and stuff like that. So just remember, one deal is all it takes. And I'm Ryan Nickel from Bootstrap REI. I'll see you later.